Good evening. I'm the Puzzle Master.
I'm the spammer.
I'm the decoder.
You're a bit off on that one.
The slip.
And I'm the sleuth.
Can you tell which one's which?
Can you tell? Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
And we're the
Escapades. Someone's lacking in the
But
back.
note, I changed my name. I'm no longer the locksmith. I'm the spammer. Just a quick update.
Which
But I'm the same person.
didn't work as well this time because there were no...
Yes, there was.
There's a couple buttons to
Or he
spam.
spammed.
But, like, to spam, like, because, you know, if you think if you have, like, a lock with numbers on it, you can spam that a little bit easier, right?
No, there were still numbers to spam.
But
There was a
you had to
keypad.
clear them, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I could be...
yeah, oh, yeah. Okay, okay.
Good call, sleuth.
Well, thank you,
Ooh.
decoder.
It's going to get very confusing very fast.
I'm trying.
So we went to Escape Hour and did the room called the Matrix.
Are we
Yeah.
still in the Matrix?
I don't know, are we?
Did we get out?
I'm confused.
Am I the sleuth?
Yo, if they just sent me a message like, you didn't escape,
Oh,
I would
that's
just trip. I'd cry.
Oh, we're still in there.
We're still in the escape room. Life is one giant escape room.
Exactly. So it's in what's
Will you
this
get
mall? Is it the
City Center.
City Center. So it's in the City Center Mall, which is quite interesting. I mean, my first time going here,
Mm-hmm.
but
Good old Edmonton, Alberta.
so I guess we'll start off with the classics. How did the building with the escape rooms look in it?
Great.
Oh,
Great?
yeah.
Yeah,
It was pretty good.
yeah. I'd say one of the better ones looking at.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
all decorated nice and
Advertised.
yes, very
Proud.
advertised.
Couches.
Ooh, red couches.
It's very nice.
On theme, too. Like, they had a color theme.
That's true, actually.
Like red and
Yeah.
white. And they matched it.
Yeah.
I don't know why red and white. but it was like, oh.
It's Canadian escape.
Oh, that's true. Is it actually Canadian?
Yeah, it is Canadian.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that would make sense. That'd be nice. Ooh, wow.
Good call.
Decoder over there, just yeah.
The coder's being quiet.
The sleuth coming up with it. Yeah. So I'd have to say yeah. So what are we rating that out of 10? Because we rate out everything at 10. In case you guys forgot.
10?
A 10.
Sure.
A 10? Yeah, sure.
For me, I'm like thinking
Nice.
if 10 is like leather couches and I get hot cocoa served to me while I wait. So maybe that's my.
Yeah, but are we ever going to reach that?
But it doesn't smell
Yo,
like
we
cat
just-
pee,
it-
and
it- it's-
doesn't-
It's only
walls
oh yeah,
are
the cat
crawling.
pee. It's only impossible until somebody does it.
Yeah.
Those are the luxury escape rooms for the rich.
That's okay.
We'll give that one an 11.
Yeah, that's true. When
11. That's true. That's when that happens, and yes, very much so. Okay, so how did the escape room look itself when we first went into the rooms?
Oh, it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was
It
well
was very
done.
nice.
Yeah.
That was one of the best looking escape rooms I think I've ever seen.
Mine was pretty
Fair.
bare bones.
That's
I don't
true.
think I think the one we did last time was actually better.
What did we do last time again?
Oh, Hunt for Arms
Yeah.
McGee. Maggie, whatever. McGee.
Yeah, because that one was good. Like this one, like it was good. Like it looked really good. And it was really accurate for the movie, but a lot of it was just wallpaper.
That is true.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the
The
chairs that they had,
The chairs were spot on replicas of
crazy.
the movie.
Definitely agreed.
the phone, yeah,
Yeah. They like even the rotary phone.
that was
Like
pretty.
whoever did it made sure it like almost scrupulously watched the details of those movies and recreated them.
I would
That's
argue
true.
that they did not watch those details. There were a
Okay,
few things we saw.
details in design. In design of the aesthetics. That's what I would say.
My room was pretty basic with the wallpaper. And
Oh right. 'cause
Oh
you
yeah,
had to
that's
start out with
true.
You had a group of 3, and
But I
then
think that was supposed to be The Office.
Yeah,
my
but-
broken chair.
That's true.
But he's an
an
office. Remember, he was an office
Yeah.
worker, right?
But it wasn't like you were looking around. There was other people in the office. There was just a stack of computers.
Yeah, there was a stack of computers.
Yeah, it's true. And they could have put like there
And
was
there was
a
like
wallpaper bookcase when they could have put an actual bookcase.
There was like
Yeah.
a fridge right behind him.
But it was a fake fridge.
Why would you
Wasn't
have
it
a
wallpaper
fridge?
fridge?
Yeah, it was a wall.
Was it supposed to be his room?
I don't
No.
know. I think
Wasn't
it was
his
his.
bedroom?
I think it was his
What's
work.
bedroom? Didn't he have a
No.
lot of computers there?
Oh, I can't. Maybe it
Maybe he
was.
did have a lot of computers.
Well, maybe it was his
Because
room.
that's why it's the bricks.
That's a good
and
point.
Why would you have a fridge
But
in an office place unless
He
it was a coffee?
first started out with The Office.
Anyways,
I don't
we're
know.
comparing it to the movie or not?
I don't know.
Well,
I think
Well,
we're
they called
supposed
it the
to.
Matrix. So
Well, we-
if they did the chairs spot on, I'd say we compare it to the movie.
Yeah, fair point.
And there was definitely things in there that if you didn't watch the movie,
It would have been a little bit more.
You would have been in trouble.
So
Oh, yeah.
Watch The Matrix before
Yeah,
going to
100%.
this one.
Watch 1 and 2 at least.
1 and 2? You think 1 and 2?
Yeah,
One
because
for sure.
the second
Two-
one is kind of it's
guess
relevant
so.
but not very relevant.
It does make more sense.
It has
I
some
guess.
similarities, but definitely
Yeah,
the first one.
True.
Yeah, we're gonna help you out with that.
Yeah. Because I haven't watched it in a long time, so I assume there's some details
Yeah,
like the cat even.
yeah. The cat is definitely a factor. The white rabbit
Yeah,
that's in the movie,
that's true.
but it wasn't the same as the movie.
No, and I guess they want to be a little bit different, but at the same point, yeah, I understand. So, what are we rating that escape room at for aesthetics? I'm going to pronounce this one day.
You'll get it.
I will have a party ready for
Exactly.
Robert pronounced aesthetics correctly party.
I try to pronounce it again and just
Get a cake?
botches it.
I'm watching way too much My Little Pony.
Oh no!
Can't figure out.
What?
I'm going to give it 8.
Sorry, I'm still trying to figure out certain things that they matched up with the movies. Like, how many movies you needed to watch.
A 9.
I think only the first one.
Yeah.
I think
First
so
one or
too.
All 3 is helpful, but
Yeah.
you only need, I think, the first one.
Yeah,
Especially with some of the puzzles that were involved in that.
Yeah.
that's an old movie, Matrix, isn't it?
It is an old movie.
And if you're clever, you probably don't need to watch it that long.
Yeah.
You're really
No,
clever.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's people that's done it.
Fair enough. I'd say a 9.
9?
For what's the category again?
For aesthetics. How did the escape room look
Yeah.
itself?
I'm gonna go with.
Thank you. I'm proud of myself.
I'm gonna go with the 7.
A 7?
Ooh.
I said an 8, but
I said a 9.
I'm comfortable.
What are you going with, Robert?
I mean, okay, so we're saying on how it looks, like compared to how the movie was?
No,
We're
no,
not
just how it
talking
looks in general.
How it looks in general.
For me, what
Yeah.
sold the aesthetics was that it looked like the movie.
Yes.
But if it doesn't sell it for you,
I'd say it'd be a 9 too. They had I guess I can say the computers and everything looking at, even, some of the stuff we had to do with Neo
Yep.
was related to the movie a bit.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Now, regardless of whether the puzzle's linked with the actual movie or not,
Yeah.
this is more on how it looks.
That would be more in the story section, I think.
the story section and the puzzle section.
Right.
This is more on how the movie or
How it
the
looked.
escape room looked.
Yeah.
So I'd say I'd give it a 9.
Okay. We're all allowed to have these opinions.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why we do this.
So what are we sticking to?
It's
Well, we can
it's
average
like an
it.
8.5.
8.5.
8.5?
Yep.
8.5. I put that in the wrong section. 1 second.
Perfect.
Woohoo.
8.5. Ew, yeah.
Goody goody. Okay, so story. Was the story interesting and did it flow and make sense?
Most of it.
No.
It was interesting.
Yeah, it was
Did it
interesting.
flow and make sense? Absolutely not.
Story was interesting. What are we rating that at?
But was it
'Cause they're two
interesting
different
just
questions.
because of the movie?
I think so.
Oh.
That is true. But yeah.
Wow.
Low
Hot.
blow.
Yeah.
I can. Oh, I need sunblock.
It's radioactive hot.
That's it.
But like,
You should be a philosopher. My goodness. Sorry.
That's
Keep,
fine.
keep going. I want to hear more.
more in what?
Like, was it? Expand on that. You said, was it interesting because of the movie?
Well, because you felt like you were following along with Neo, but which in some ways is the story. Like you're following the story through the rooms, but you're also like you wouldn't know if you didn't watch the movie what connects what. You
Yeah.
get 2 pills. What do you do with the 2 pills?
But I think at the same point that now we're kind of comparing a book to a movie. There's always differences too.
Like that's
We
true.
went in there
I just-
expecting it would be the same as the movie, which I guess I was too, but I mean, it's like comparing the book to the movie of anything, except if it's Shakespeare. That's just stupid.
But when you call it the Matrix and an
Yeah.
escape room, and you use like
the images are the same.
yeah,
Yeah.
the image is the same, the characters are named the same,
Yeah, that's
the
true.
props are the same.
that's a good point.
Well, it's the
People are
same as
thinking
books.
as the like of the movie. Like I'll use the
Yeah.
example. There was a game called Enter the Matrix,
Yeah,
and it was based on the Matrix. It was actually like helped made by the Wachowski brothers or whatever.
yeah.
But it was
Sisters now.
oh, the sisters now.
They're sisters now.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Whatever. The Wachowski people.
What? Okay, that's interesting. Okay.
But like it linked up with the movies in some sense, but it was its own thing, but it made sense. Like, you could do backflips, you could do aerial dodges, you could fight, you could run up walls, but it was different. Follow the...
And I would have loved that if it was like, it was the Matrix and you came in and it's like different names, different things going on.
Yeah.
Like, then you're like, okay, I can kind of forget some of the things that are going on, and...
Yeah, you're not Neo, you're Bill.
You're Bill.
And you're getting out of the Matrix,
Yeah.
you know, and we want to help you.
Yeah.
You know, we're like a random group.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make more sense, because then I wouldn't get confused.
Because then it would have been like, oh, I got to do this, you want to do this, because that's what the movies told us to do.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. And being Neo really didn't give you any benefits.
Oh, that's a great point.
Like, there was nothing really cool about being Neo, other than the
left
fact that you were called
Yeah,
Neo.
other than
And you
you're
wore a
left alone.
collar.
All alone.
You wore
Yeah.
a collar.
Yeah, and we cheated, I think.
Did we cheat?
No, we
I
didn't.
think so. I don't think we're supposed to yell through the door.
Well, it didn't make any difference.
No, it didn't.
Like,
You're supposed to
Communicate.
use
What are
a
we on right
system
now?
to communicate.
What
We
section?
were on, was the story
Oh, we're on the story
interesting?
still. Okay.
Yeah.
It was not... It was interesting, but only in the fact that I'd done it before. I've seen it, and I was living the movie, but then I wasn't living the movie, and then I got mad.
and you know what? In some ways, like, maybe we should have a category saying, would you do this room again? Because the answer for me is no for this one.
I wouldn't recommend this either.
I wouldn't either.
Or I would recommend, like... Yeah, I wouldn't even, because I'd be like, it's not even its own thing. It's
Just
like...
go
okay.
in with a different perception.
Would you do this movie
we
again?
should have asked if other people who didn't watch the movie did better.
Yeah.
Or something. Like, I'd just be like... But again... Yeah, anyways. I think I'm skipping ahead of a few things. Or I will be if I keep talking, so I'll stop.
Well, because there's things like... You're Neo. Like, so you get to go in... So the premise is that you're in the Matrix, you have to essentially find Neo, help him escape the Matrix, and then go back into the Matrix and escape again. If I had to really
Go
quantify
and
it.
destroy the boss.
You have to kind of make Neo who he is, which is the one,
Yep.
and then you have to go back into the Matrix together, and then go and defeat Agent Smith. Kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
But what's weird is, like, if you haven't seen the Matrix, like, you get a call, like, if you've seen the Matrix movie, you get to jack in, so there's little holes, so Neo gets a collar. I don't think that's too much of a spoiler.
No,
to say.
that's not.
You get a
that's
collar.
a puzzle alert, so.
But the thing is, if you haven't seen the Matrix, when you come into the room where there's the chair, and you have to jack in, no one, I think, in their right mind, having never seen the movie, never heard of it, would think, you need to sit in this chair and plug this together, and then
That's true.
do all the things that happen afterwards. Like, I don't think that's a natural
true.
thought.
Except for there's 3 prongs, or the 3 prongs.
There
that
is.
fit
Yeah, but-
in my neck.
You'd spend so
In
much
your neck,
time
that sounds-
finding that,
Sounds
and
like
then
you should see a doctor.
finding that connection, which
Yeah.
should be automatic. And it is automatic if you've seen the movie.
They did display it to show what you had to kind of do in that one, with that hologram, kind of giving you an idea of what you're supposed
Oh,
to do.
yeah.
So they kind of did put something in there,
At the
but
beginning, but not...
not at the beginning. No, in the room with the chair,
I think it's...
the plug-in chair. But
Well, like, they just showed putting some of those components somewhere.
And there was the concept of, like, the Matrix, not all things work the same in the Matrix. Which is fine, because you think of a spoon,
Yeah.
but there was no spoon.
It was something
Hilarious.
else.
Yeah, it was something else. But your brain goes, oh, I'm looking for a spoon, or I'm thinking of a concept of bending a spoon. And that was not it at all.
You know, and,
That's
and,
true.
and even thinking about that, again, because we were in the Matrix, like, we're following the movie, the first, we were separated. 3 were in one room, and 1 was in the other room.
Yeah.
Our first room, there was nothing in that room that we had to do that was from the first movie, initially.
Yeah, there's...
not really.
No.
It came a little bit later
Right?
on.
Like,
but
It was dependent on Neo unlocking
No,
and finding us.
No, but I mean even before that, because we had to communicate how we had to do that. But for even before we had to communicate, does that make sense what I'm trying to say without giving it away?
Yeah.
To me, it
Like-
does,
like-
because I was waiting for
Because,
it.
like, we had to solve a puzzle first to be able to talk to you, which if you think in the movies, like, again, it has to be an escape room, I get that, but it would have just been easier just to be, at the communication device.
yeah,
Yeah.
They should have started you in the communication.
Yeah.
He should have had... Well, yeah, because the natural premise of the movie is that we're all hackers. So
Yeah.
why would you hide
Yes.
It's a computer. It's the Matrix. We all know it.
Yeah.
So why would you have to find it in
Especially
order
when
to?
we know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That should have been automatic. It should have been like hacking. You should have had to decode it, right? Like figure out how to log in. That would have made way more sense.
Yeah,
They
100%.
should have moved the first room with the third room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, they should have done that.
That's where you should have started.
Yep.
And then you move into the where Morpheus' team in. You should have had to move to the first room, meet up, then bring in there. Yeah.
Also, how did we get the pills again? Oh, they came in the box.
Oh yeah.
Why do we have to find the pills?
Yeah.
That didn't.
Morpheus has the pills. Again, it shouldn't have been.
I don't understand. Yeah, why the pills came at that time.
Yeah, why they hid the pills instead of like
That didn't make
instead of
sense.
somebody having them.
So I would have been. Ignore the movies because they don't help, obviously.
But they do.
They do, but don't expect it to be like the movies.
Yeah, but like, I would have been just happy to say this is the Matrix 4. Call it like that or something, or pre-Matrix, or post-Matrix, or something.
Nico forgot stuff.
Like
and
just
needs
or something, and then it's a whole different premise.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, it's the Matrix, but change
It's like a
change the
sister.
characters.
It's like a sister.
Yeah.
if you even change the characters, like you're no Neo, no Morpheus, no Trinity, or even not even Neo. Like there's no Neo, that would have helped.
And even when we had to go and find the White Rabbit, which gave us something,
Yeah.
Oh, to help with that other thing, but
right?
that's still.
We should have had that box initially,
Yeah.
which you had it, which just makes sense.
Because the White Rabbit in the movie is Trinity, and Trinity would be arguably on your team
that's
because
right.
you're with Morpheus.
Yeah.
And then
Wait, did
you
we
should have been the one who found what opens up the box, and then be like, I have this, and we go, oh, we've got the box.
Yeah.
Or
Or
we should design escape rooms.
or what would have been cool is it like in some escape rooms you have like clothing attire. If there was like Morpheus's leather jacket, and in the jacket was the pills, that would make,
That
more,
would
sense.
make more sense,
Or
yes.
Trinity, right? You put on like an arm sleeve, and there's the White Rabbit tattoo.
Yeah.
That would have made more sense.
Yep.
That's true.
Like if you're gonna go with that premise,
You have to kind of go with that.
you have to follow it. Yeah.
Well, that's a
So
long
this-
rant.
yeah,
That
that
was
was so the
not
story.
even on point.
Okay, so
Actually, we're still talking about the story.
the story in a way, some of the puzzles too. But so was the story interesting? It was interesting, but I'm assuming it was disappointing because of how much stuff was not really
Like,
linked. and
Over
how we
promised,
found
under
stuff.
delivered.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
100%.
There you go. So would we put what, like a 5 for that?
And
I'm gonna put like a 3.
3? Okay.
I'm till.
I'll say
Even
four.
with
what?
high hopes, though, you can't.
but even if we didn't though,
They called it the same as the movie, so the
Yeah.
Matrix. So
They call it the
that's-
Matrix. Even the movie lead, like the little pre-movie,
Yeah.
shows Neo.
Yeah.
Like one of your characters is named Neo. You're on the Morpheus team.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
yeah, you know what? I'm good with 3.
3?
Nathan.
I'm gonna say
Or
7.
sorry,
7.
there's 2 of them, so it's still a code.
That's true.
It's still a code.
What if we are all this Nathan?
Decoder / sleuth / spammer
Wait,
slash.
like,
Okay, we get a
Puzzle
4.
master.
you have to decode who
We
it
got a
is.
4,
Now
an
you
average
don't
of
have
4.
to do
So we're doing
This
a
room
4.
is an escape room. This podcast is one giant escape room.
Exactly.
Podcast is the Matrix, which would be better than the escape room.
Oh,
Savage.
oh no.
I think I need
That's
some
awesome.
water. I was too salty.
Yes.
that. Because you're
I'm
mean.
out.
That's awesome. So I'll just put for both of them. Well, I mean, for the story was interesting, I'll put a 4 because that was our average. And then did the story flow and make sense? Not really.
No.
It did. It started out very promising.
Yeah,
It
and
did.
it did not. No.
Because, again, if you're following the movies, there were puzzles we had to do to get components that were not part of the movie.
Or
No.
broke sequence of the movies.
Yes.
But part of them was from the movies too. So you're like, okay,
Yeah.
like what can
You
I
didn't
use?
know which sequence to follow.
Exactly. That's the thing. So
Especially initially, it sets it up. Like you thought you get Neo meets up with Morpheus. There's the pills. That makes sense. Like all that adds up. And then once you get to the second half of the room, it all breaks sequence and just falls apart.
wow, we went on a long round with the
It
story.
did, it did.
It's true though.
The more we get into it, though, the more the Matrix falls apart.
It's true actually.
How ironic.
There's a virus in the Matrix, and it's not Agent Smith.
There was no Agent Smith.
It's the Escapades.
Was there Agent Smith? I don't
I
even
think
know.
at the end, yeah.
I don't know who was in there.
He exploded.
But anyways, so are we putting a number 4 for did the story flow make sense? Or are we
Oh, I'm going for a 2.
You going for a
I'm
2?
sorry, just because it was
I'll say
so
a 3 on that
frustrating.
one.
And I'm good with that too.
What do you want?
5.
5?
Ooh.
Coming down.
Ooh.
Do 5. I think that's going to bring us to 3. What? No, divided by.
Whoa, 11 out of 10.
2.75, so 3, yeah. I'm doing calculations. Don't mind me. Anyways, so then we go with puzzles. Were they easy to identify?
No.
Yes and no. Our first puzzle for Team Morpheus was
Oh.
not easy to identify.
No.
They said don't push anything too much. No,
Yeah.
okay, we're being nice, you know. At the same time, it's like, well, and they said how many? Was that more than 3 finger strength?
Well, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
that was.
That was more than 3.
They said about a couple
I'm
fingers.
gonna test on the door. Okay. Yeah, I can push your door with 3 fingers. Was it more than opening a door?
But the problem was the motion you had to do because it wasn't exactly opening a door.
No, that's fine.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay. So, I guess it wasn't horrible, especially in the third room too.
You know what?
Oh,
No, I'm switching my those components that we had to put in were finicky.
Oh, that's.
Oh yeah.
This was.
And so was yours. Oh yeah, no.
No, these
He's
are
so tilted.
these are easy to identify.
Yes.
not
Okay, so
activate.
they are easy to identify. Yes.
What are we scoring that out of?
In the sense of usability, that's different.
Yeah,
Is there a section?
identify. There is another.
Oh, there
I'll
is
get
a
to that
section. There
eventually.
is a section on moving and activating.
Yeah.
So identify, then I'm going to give it 10. You could easily identify things.
Except for the first room, I'd probably give it about an 8.
Yeah, but what about the keys? Was that easy to identify?
That was not too bad.
Yeah.
He got it.
you
Once
knew-
he knew, he
You knew
figured it out.
Something
Yeah.
had to be done.
But
It was easy to identify the puzzle. Didn't mean it was easy to solve.
No.
Yeah.
So easy
yes.
to identify. We're doing what numbers?
I'm going to say a 10. You can identify what the puzzle is. How it works, that's a different category.
Yeah. So I'd say 8 because of the first room.
I'm going to give it a 7 because of the first room and because of the more use than once thing.
yeah,
Oh, yes,
and you
yes.
know what? The spoon that wasn't a spoon. I'm a 7 too.
That really tilted
7.
me.
Okay, so we're
That really
8.
tilted me.
Let's go with 8 on that one.
Yeah, that's
'Cause
fair.
it's middle ground.
This makes me miss Time Escape.
Yeah.
My heart just goes back to it.
And the thing is like at this point, the one we did last time, in my opinion, was better than this time.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I agree.
This
Sorry,
one's
sorry
just-
gents.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
There's other ones that we've done at Escape Hour that are great. Which
Yeah.
is one of the one that we've done that's been great. But this one was
Not so well. Anyways, so were the puzzles easy to move or activate? Ooh, this is gonna be a juicy question.
2.
2? Oh wow.
Remember the...
Oh, that thing. Yes.
I can't say it because it will give it away. Remember?
That was so.
If you didn't have any knowledge of that, which I for some reason had that in my brain of how to
Thankfully.
use that, frig, we would have
was
been
some
so
old stuff.
stuck.
Take your
Remember,
grandparents
I
with
took,
you.
I had to, yeah.
Take your grandparents with you. Yeah.
Actually,
Just for that one puzzle.
there is some specific knowledge you would have benefited to
But
have.
even your grandparents would have gone
Well, they should have.
No, because remember I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
you had to trace it.
Yeah.
It's different than when you know what it is and you
Enter it.
in.
Yeah.
That's true. Yes.
You're.
That's
Tracing is harder. Yes, very hard.
He was talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll tell you.
So,
we'll tell you afterwards. Unfortunately.
So were the puzzles hard to move or activate?
I'm 5,
Yes.
4, 5,
Yo, 2.
Yeah, 2.
4.
2, because at the end
I'll
we
do
had
4.
it
I'll do
right
4.
and it animated and it didn't trigger the cutscene.
Oh, that's true. 3.
Which to me
3.
is the epitome of you did this wrong.
Also, I had to go and run to do a final action, and when I got there, I had to go and listen for
right.
something, and it was not where the noise was coming from.
Yeah.
But that's where it was.
That's where it was, and I did it.
The soundbite didn't come from the object that you picked up.
That's right, and even the thing I had to go and do, like the object did, like it should have been it's just some sort of feedback being like, oh, you did it,
Yeah.
but it was nothing. It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go 3.
Okay. So 3. So
2.
Oh,
2 is the average on that one because there's.
Yeah.
Wow, that's low.
that is low. Wow.
We're a bit tilted on this, I guess.
But let it be said, yeah, we solved it.
Yeah.
We solved
Yeah,
it.
we did.
And we didn't use an obnoxious amounts of hints.
We got about
No.
3 hints and then 1 or 2 like pointing in the right direction.
I feel like
But the worst thing is we took 10, 15
10, 12 in that first one.
before we solved the very first puzzle.
Yeah.
That's true.
And
The
it
very first puzzle.
and it wasn't even a puzzle.
No, that's the
It shouldn't
problem.
have been a puzzle.
No, we agree. It shouldn't have even been a puzzle in the first place.
Yeah. So were there too many or too few puzzles?
Well, considering we sucked, like considering not so we sucked, but like we needed help. We didn't, we spent 10 minutes in that first room trying to figure out what we were supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Had we not have done that,
And we were like, I'm sorry, but we were told that we had to wait for Neo.
yeah, that's true.
We were told to, so we didn't. We were looking around about
That's
future
true.
things, but we didn't think we have to. If we were told you have to communicate with Neo, we would have been hunting for things to communicate with him with.
Yeah.
Well, I thought he did say that you have to wait for Neo. You'll have to communicate with him.
But we thought that meant yelling through the door.
Or
Or using that
waiting
one.
for him to come into us,
Yeah.
That's true.
because there was like there was chairs in that room, and I get they're trying to recreate the scene, but it makes it look like, oh, you're supposed to sit here and wait.
Yeah. Like in the movie,
In the movie, yeah.
Yeah.
they communicate, but like, yeah. So I felt misled by that.
So I guess were there too many or too confused or too few puzzles?
It was just right because we did it, even though it took us a long time to do
Yeah.
all that stuff.
So that's fair.
We did it in the time frame, but considering it took us 10 minutes before we could even do the first puzzle,
Yeah, that's true.
like
So
if we were on top of it, my answer would have been too few.
too few. That is true, actually. It
Because
just took us a while for the ones that
there
were
were
already
things
there.
that were more
for
issues
that
with the
second
story
last
or
one.
how they worked that prevented us from moving as fast as we could have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna give it. So in agreement to however many puzzles, that's the 10 out of 10. But because there were too few,
there would have been too few.
so
Yeah.
we're gonna say a lower score then.
Yeah.
I'd say about 8.
No.
No?
7, 6.
I'm okay with an 8.
Yeah.
I'm a 6.
Because if someone
You're
gets
6?
stuck like we got stuck, then
Yeah.
they're gonna be in.
Yeah,
they're
but
gonna have
like-
just enough.
Yeah.
I just felt like we didn't get stuck because we were outsmarted. We got
That's right.
stuck because of bad design.
Yeah, and I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
That's what frustrates
So
me.
that's not puzzle count.
No. I'm just saying in
Yeah.
general. Like
Well, that's what we're talking
For
about.
how many are too few, and that's being stuck is indicating on how many puzzles too many or too
right.
few,
And we got.
and that's why.
But if it's hard, if they had made puzzles that were mentally challenging or whatever, who knows?
Mm.
Yeah.
Right? I have no idea. I'm just gonna say a 7 though.
I'll say an 8.
I'm a 6.
You're a 6, so we'll go with 7. Okay.
Speak up over there.
go with 7.
Salty.
Salty 7.
I got some
Like another
saltine. Yeah, saltine. You want some saltwater taffy? Should put some sea salt on that.
Okay, so the puzzles, were they way too confusing or easy?
Way too confusing.
At times, yeah. That's true. So
And they were challenging. There was challenge.
it was a good challenge. The problem is we keep relating it back to the movie, and when it didn't really click too much, then we're like, this is confusing.
Yep.
So, what are we rating that as?
4.
4?
That freaking intercom, man. I'll forever be tilted by that intercom. I don't care.
Yeah.
That just is, I will forever be tilted by that.
But someone else gets screwed up on that too.
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
I'll say a 5.
I'm a 4.
I think 5.
Ooh, so 4.5? 5?
Let's go 4.
Okay.
We rounding out.
I think our 5s are leading closer to 4s.
Yeah,
There we go.
we're kind of like one of the.
It's sad because if it just changed its name, it would have been a great room.
That's true.
Change his name and then I still think it was.
There's some
it was
stuff
a
that
broken.
still needs to be
Yeah.
revamped.
Yeah.
Some things in it were just broken.
It's funny because like this is our hardest room, but we now would know why.
Yeah.
Exactly. Was it the hardest room?
That was one
Oh,
of the
no
harder
wonder why.
rooms.
We
Yeah.
also did it in the fastest time.
What?
Didn't we also do it the fastest?
Yeah, we did do it the fastest we've ever done a room.
Oh, really?
No, last one
3
we
minutes
were-
left.
Was the last one 5?
Last was 5, 4 or 5.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was our
Well,
last
second
one.
fastest.
Second fastest. Pretty
We're
good.
getting better.
Yay. High fives.
Or just using our
Still doesn't beat that picture one. Oh, remember that in Merlin with the pictures?
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's
Remember.
funny.
But that one, at least things were continuous.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, once you decided which one you were
Yeah.
following.
But like that one could have been solved real easily instead of just saying.
What's our next
Yeah.
question?
Anyways.
Yeah. Okay. So was there a good mixture of puzzles, locks, puzzles, patterns, math, documents, and these are just
That's
examples?
part of their. That's kind of a problem because that's kind of what they advertise. This isn't mentally challenging puzzles.
Yeah, because of. You
These
know
are-
what?
No, did they advertise that, or did
Well,
they say
that's what
there's
he
no
said.
locks?
He said these aren't like complication. Like you don't need to know locks. You don't need to do slides.
But
Like,
the ironic thing is we do.
You kind of need to know the movie a
We
little
had
bit.
to unlock a couple things.
yeah, but they
Yeah.
were all.
We needed codes.
Yeah, he did. So it kind of goes against what he said,
Yeah.
which is kind of weird.
That's when I first saw like the lockbox, and then I'm like, wait, what? There's a lockbox? I didn't think we have to do lockbox stuff.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And he even said you could split up and do different things.
At the same, you could not.
You
Oh,
know you
yeah.
could not.
Not really, no.
Anything.
Except for the third room, you could have done.
Yeah.
But other than that,
He said you could do multiple things all at once. No,
No.
it was fairly linear.
Yeah, 100%.
yeah,
Yeah, you had to go in order.
Yeah.
yeah.
You couldn't break order unless you got lucky, and that'd screw you over. Actually, if you got lucky, you could break the whole room.
Well, in
Because remember that last room? If you
The
just
last room.
randomly got the code to the safe, you could totally just beat. Because remember, it gives you, it opens up to that, and then you beat the game.
but it's turned off. That's why you need
Yeah.
the key. The lock doesn't work.
No, the
adapter?
I'll talk about it at the beginning later after we're done.
Oh, okay. So what are we saying for mixture of puzzles? What are we rating that? Oh wow.
I don't even know what to
Was
say.
there? Yes.
To me, for like puzzles.
No.
The only one that
Which
felt
is
like
what
felt like
I think
disappointment
they're
sometimes.
trying to advertise is you kind of just play through it. It's not like puzzle.
but like
But
The
there
only
are
puzzle-
puzzles, and they're not what they said they were.
the only puzzle was honestly, I felt, the phone numbers.
That's true. That was the biggest.
That was the
puzzle.
only puzzle in my mind.
Yeah.
But there was still like. But I guess is there a repetitive?
Like nothing
Type thing.
repetitive.
It's no.
So there was a good mixture
Well-
of different things, but not really.
What were you working on, Rob?
I was working on the buttons,
Trinity,
and
Is that a
then it
puzzle?
was
It's a puzzle.
kind of yeah. It was more sequence. I like the sequence patterns. I just
Yeah,
sit
we
there
just-
in the corner and press buttons.
And he gets it every time.
Okay. Takes me a
bu-
while
the guy's
sometimes.
busted, man. You're all busted. It's ridiculous. You're all
Say.
smart.
I don't know.
I'm just
either.
spamming. I'm using some of your. I'm
Do you
like,
guys have an opinion? Maybe I'll just piggyback.
I think I'm going to say it a 5 because it was neither great nor like.
I felt like my mind wasn't challenged. I felt like my mind was frustrated.
More than anything, more than challenged.
Yeah, I was like just.
That's a good way of putting it because sometimes when you get something right, you get a high of that, right? You're like, oh, I got it.
Yeah.
There was nothing in this that you felt like, oh, we got it.
Well, except for that last part.
Yeah.
And it's really weird. When we knew what to do, it was like
We still had a
you just
Yeah.
jump right from one to the next. You're like, okay, this is what we do. Done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was still hard to do sometimes, even when you knew what to do.
Yeah. It's just there was. I think this. I would have
It's totally not
the whole spoon thing, and not having a spoon. You should have just put a spoon in. If you're gonna say like this is the Matrix and things don't work, like go with the movie. Use the spoon for something.
Even like follow the white rabbit.
Like, actually follow it around.
or something. Like,
And it leads you somewhere, which
But,
is
like-
supposed to lead you out of the
Yeah.
Matrix. Actually, the White Rabbit is supposed to lead Neo to Morpheus. That's what's supposed to happen, and that's not what happened.
That's
Yeah.
why the third room should have
So
been the
what
first
should have
room.
happened is it should have said follow the White Rabbit, and you should have had to follow it to maybe a key, which led you to us.
That makes sense.
That's what would have made more sense.
Yeah.
And that is not what happened. We, as the Morpheus team, had to follow the White Rabbit, which made no sense at all.
That's true,
No,
actually.
I was with you guys when that happened.
yeah, but
But you're not supposed to be.
I know.
That's true.
That's what you
It's
broke.
like they
I-
watched the movie, but they didn't.
and then even when you find the White Rabbit, what you're doing is not really.
And the is no spoon happens with the Oracle, who is not in there at all and would have actually been really helpful. So, like,
So was there a good mixture of puzzles?
sorry.
No, that's fine.
Yes, but like poorly done. There was a good mixture of interesting puzzles, just done in the wrong way.
Oh, okay. So we'll give it a 4?
No. Needs a
I'm good at like 5.
I'll say 5.
I was
close
like-
and 5. I'll
like-
say
Okay, I'll
6.
say-
I'm gonna say
I'll say
4.
Okay, so we'll go with 5.
Okay,
5.
5.
Okay, for that one. Okay, now.
I'm being mean
No,
today.
you're
What's
Stupid spammer.
Okay, so moving on to the staff then. How were the staff? Were they helpful or seemed down in the dumps?
He was upbeat and alright.
Yeah, he was okay.
but was he helpful?
I felt like he lied to us.
Yeah.
I felt I got misinformation, but he was helpful because even though he didn't ask for hints, like
He just kind of
he was like, "Hey, do you need help?
Yeah.
Maybe you should try." He was watching us. Like
Yeah.
he was.
Making sure the puzzles
He didn't
worked.
just peace out, which he could have, and that would have tilted us even
Yeah.
more.
Well, he was making sure the puzzles worked, which I think that's very good for any escape room,
Yeah.
is to have someone that's watching.
Yeah, and he was watching for sure.
Yeah.
Which is good.
I'd say 8.
Yeah.
I'd say 9.
I'd
And I
say.
only knock him because I feel like he lied to us.
I feel like we got misinformation, so I'll give it an 8.
Yeah, but like, is that 80%?
Yeah.
feel
I don't
like
think
the
he
rest of
intentionally
us-
misled us. I just think he actually screwed up
No, and that's fair.
It's saying what?
But
in saying, like, you can do different things
Oh,
at the same
that's-
time,
yes.
which didn't happen.
Well,
and
and-
Neo has to find you, and you can't really help him. You have to wait, which didn't happen
No,
at all.
that's
So,
true.
like,
and you don't have to reuse the puzzle more than once.
which didn't happen.
So an 8. I'll give him an 8.
And I don't know, like I towards the end, like I realize there's other groups there, but like it's just one person manning it and manning more than one group. And so that was one of those things where it's like, sorry, I can't, stay with you guys. I gotta go. And it's
Can
like,
you read the
okay.
question again, Rob?
Okay. Puzzle Master.
Yes. You have to edit that too.
That too, yeah.
And
Were they helpful or seemed down in the dumps?
No, he was helpful and he did what he could for what was there.
yeah,
Yeah.
and for what he was staffed for.
Okay, so are we doing an 8 for that one?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so an 8 for that one. Did they answer the questions with excitement?
Yeah.
Well, it was through an
Yeah, he was
iPad,
generally.
Yeah, I thought he was really good.
Yeah?
He actually
Okay.
sounded like he wanted to talk with us about the room.
Yeah.
But he couldn't.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so 10 for that one?
He's
Yeah,
probably
good.
glad he didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
We just slammed him.
Yeah.
This is stupid!
We should just drop a link to the podcast afterwards
That'd be
and
so
been like, yeah.
savage.
Sorry, mate.
Do
this
that,
is
and then at
fun.
the bottom say we have ideas how we can improve it.
Yes,
fun.
exactly.
Which is good, because when
Yeah.
you complain, you should have a solution.
Exactly. And then also, did they answer the questions so we could understand?
Yes.
There was still some confusion there.
He for sure answered them like we could
I
understand.
give him a 9.
Yeah.
Because of the
I
first one
see.
he answered, I was a bit confused on how things weren't as they meant to
Remember
be.
when I yelled at the...
Oh yeah, the cat.
I'm like, Nathan! I'm like, all right. And I had to go to the door.
Oh yeah.
That was so funny.
Loud, yelled at the screen. and
Goober
stuff.
moment.
Oh,
I'm
that's
thinking
funny.
it's like got video and audio. Nathan!
Listen through the camera.
I had no trouble hearing you guys.
Not at
I
all.
heard you guys like conversation.
When you were trying to ask, oh wow, ask us. That's hilarious.
It's like, and how come you guys couldn't hear the?
We could.
We could.
Could we? I couldn't.
I
Really?
could.
I kept.
It
I
was
like,
so loud.
It was.
why
loud.
isn't this working? Like, guys, hi. Like,
Yeah.
That was
So-
kind of a bummer.
But like the soundbite didn't come from over there. It came
No.
from the speaker above.
Yeah,
That's
it came
why.
from behind me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, there you go. So it came from from behind you.
Which
In
was,
our room.
I was facing the desk.
Right, but
So I thought it was.
but it should have came like there should have been a
Yeah.
small speaker which led you to there and go, oh,
That's fair.
Yeah.
it just came over a big like speaker
Yeah.
from the top, so you heard it and you're like, what does it mean? Because that's where
Yeah.
all the audio came from.
But
They
when
weren't
you
linked.
guys didn't respond to me, and I still felt like I had to do something.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what we were
And
told.
I
That we were told
I
that.
couldn't do anything.
No, that's
Right,
true.
but we were told that we had to wait for you.
Man, you know what? If we didn't ask for a hint, we would have never left that room.
Yeah, he hadn't helped. He pushed us too. He's like, "Yo, do you
Like-
do you need a hand here?
Yeah.
Can I help you get started?"
At
Yeah.
first, I was like, "That's kind of weird. Why would we need a hand right now?" Like,
We're waiting for someone else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, should we asking him if he needs a hand?
So, anyways, did they answer the question so we could understand?
Yes, I felt.
What are we rating that
I
on?
give
give
him
it
a
a
10.
Yeah.
I thought he was very clear.
Okay, I'll give it a 9 too. So 9 it is. Okay.
Nines. Across the
I'll
board.
do calculations. You guys.
So we don't
keep
have.
talking.
So I guess one thing maybe we need to put in our first question there for staff is that they weren't manned enough for the amount of groups they had.
They weren't man.
Yeah.
Because it
Yeah.
sounded
So
like
that's
they had a
another
group
note we
in
want.
there, a group, two groups finishing, and one waiting, and there was only one person.
Yeah.
And you know what? We were there early. We did not start at our time.
Yep.
How,
And
when did we start?
Because he was with the group at the end of theirs,
Yeah.
talking to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So not enough staff.
Not
There
enough
should have been
staff.
another person.
Which,
on.
if you're doing a different room, now you're behind. And I booked it, so, and I gotta put this one in. So we went to this one for one of our group's bachelor party, for the Dakoters bachelor party, and it was fantastic. It was great.
It was.
And he gave us a discount for
Yeah.
10% off our next room, so we decided to use it. If you booked it online, you had to enter a coupon code, and he had signed it. So I actually had to go park and come in to get the 10% off. So
Oh, wow.
that, I have to note, was a very big oversight
Yeah.
on their part. And then and this is also interesting, when I came in to book, it was 2-3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And on like weekends, they open at 12 some days and at 2 other days. So if you want to book in person, what person is going to come in on those times?
Yeah.
And B, they had 2 staff.
They did at that time.
And they weren't even doing rooms yet. And they had 2 staff. And now they have 1 staff when rooms are actually
Seems to be
happening.
really busy.
Yeah, that's.
Maybe someone called in today or something like that.
Maybe, but that was but
Yeah, that
replace
is
that
true.
person.
Yeah, you gotta do something.
You got to
Yeah.
put it on.
Whoever's managing it should show
Like,
up.
what happens if all 3 of us need a hint at the same time?
Yeah.
I guess you're waiting.
Because, like, in theory, there's what, 5 rooms there?
Yeah.
6
Oh
rooms.
wow, that's a lot. And there was
And
like what, 3 groups,
Yeah,
including
There
us?
was the one he said that was moving. He said another one had finished. One was waiting, and we had just finished.
Yeah.
So he needed to get one.
And props
into
to
the
him for
room.
being on the ball then, for
Yeah.
helping us as much as he did and watching us.
Yeah.
But
Man, that was a room where I definitely felt like we were not good at escape rooms. Like, my confidence level dropped in that room.
That's true. For a
I don't.
beginner level,
I don't feel that way.
no. Or maybe it's just disappointment of the story.
And that could be what it's probably more in the story where. Like,
want to do another one before we go. We can't leave like this.
the last room I left that going, man, I felt good.
Yeah.
This
That's
one
true,
was just
yes.
like, no, I just felt so scrambly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tuesday.
Sorry, what did you say? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah, let's do it.
I guess we should add to this.
You
Would we
want it?
do this room again?
Friggin' go for it.
Would we do this room again if they fixed it? If
Well,
they
that's
fixed
a
it,
different question.
It's
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
if they fix it, I'd say
I
I'd
don't
do
know.
it again.
If they, as is,
Yes.
well, maybe the question is, would we recommend this room to
That's
somebody
a better
else?
one. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
we
I would say
recommend-
no.
No.
Only
Avoid
because-
this like the plague.
Only because it's named the Matrix. Pretend
Yeah.
it's named something else, and the
But even
people
then,
are something
you
else.
still
That
need-
still doesn't help you though.
Because it's not. I'm okay with it not being a linear thing, but then you need more than one thing to solve at one time.
Yes.
Like the
Call
nuclear
it the
bomb
Matrix.
one was-
change the names.
Change names.
You
Yes.
don't need 4 people to do it. Is that what we're saying?
You need at least 2.
You need at least 2.
Well, you have to have 2 with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a couple, a date night. I don't know if that's a good date night.
No.
Not a first date idea. Not a first
one
date
person
idea.
in one room, one person in another room going, no, you're supposed to do something. I can't do anything.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that was fun. No, that was
I'm looking at chairs over here.
I'm looking at a computer screen.
I like typing
Waiting
in a
for
prompt.
someone to respond.
Try Control Alt Delete. Oh, dang, we should have said that.
It's like Control +1 because that said English. Anyways, did
So,
work.
anyway, so we would not really
I
recommend
would not.
this. No.
I just. It's too
Because
tilting.
it is a frustrating, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just doesn't make sense. That's the thing. It does, maybe that's the point. It's the Matrix. It doesn't make sense. But this doesn't make. Even for the Matrix, this doesn't make any sense.
That's true. So our notes for this one, there weren't enough staff this evening
Yep.
for this one. And all of our other stuff, because we went to 45 minutes so far. So I'm pretty sure they heard a lot of ranting already. Anyways, so it's good to know that this escape room, the escape hour, I guess, so the place, they're rated at 4.9 stars on Google.
That's a little bit skewed, though, because
Why is
when
that?
we did the bachelor party, part of getting our code was for all of us to rate the room 5 stars.
Oh.
So it's 4.9 because everyone's told to rate it 5.
Wow.
So it's a
And
bit.
I would have rated it 5 easily last time because the last room we did was a 5-star room, definitely.
Yes.
5-star service.
Yeah.
Story was a little messed up, but everything else was perfect.
Yep. Because
Yeah.
there were some things we had to figure out what 5 lives were the people in there, and they were really weird lives.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of where I didn't like that. But otherwise, I would recommend that room again.
Which one did you do?
5 lives.
5 lives. Okay,
Yeah.
so we would recommend that room, not so much the Matrix
No.
room.
We would recommend the business. Just don't do the Matrix. Do 5 lives.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do
100%.
5 lives. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, so that's good to know, being that they do say 4.9 stars. Well,
Yeah.
we rated this out of our point system as 78.5 out of 120 points they could get, giving it a 0.65 or 65%, which is also 3.25 stars.
That feels accurate
Yeah.
for that
does,
room.
That does feel
Definitely.
actually. Yeah.
I feel good about that.
They did a lot of work to the room, but yeah, it's because of all the happenings and
Yeah.
everything. Then yeah.
And
So,
I think for there's 2 here who did not do 5 lives. If you guys were to compare the 2 rooms, you would even feel like this one here, although there was a lot of cool stuff they did, the other room was super in depth with everything.
Yeah.
this was
Like-
more like a side room than Matrix
Like-
was.
Yeah.
There was a room in that 5 lives where it felt like you were in a boiler.
And quite literally a boiler.
Like-
Oh, seriously?
Yeah,
Yes.
seriously. And it wasn't
You
like,
had to wear hard hats because
Yeah.
you would actually hit your head on steel pipes.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Like the prop was actually useful, which never happens.
Yeah.
No,
And
exactly.
so like,
Check the pockets.
which is great because the other thing is with the, like it wasn't just wallpapered. Oh, you're in a room with pipes.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, right.
you actually felt like you were in these rooms.
Yeah, trapped.
Like everything, like even just like there was things that weren't a part of the room that didn't mean anything, but like you felt like you were in there.
Yeah.
And this one here, it's like, okay, you were there, but it's like wallpaper, the world's blowing up. Actually, that's a weird one because when Morpheus is outside, there's no world blow. Like, when like he's in the chair,
Yeah, there's
one
no
of those
world.
wallpapers had the world blowing up.
Yeah.
There's no
Like on
world.
fire.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
I was thinking that too.
Whoa.
Oh no,
I need
this
to
is
stop
more
talking.
salty.
All right, Sleuth, you gotta talk more for me. You're
Good
quiet.
job, Dakota.
Yeah.
Way to
We got a lot. We got a lot of from Decoder tonight.
Yeah,
It's good
it's
stuff.
probably my most active one.
Yeah. So, anything else we want to add, or should I even ask that?
No, we're good back
Okay.
here.
Escapades out.
Out.